AI stuff with it one day.
Yeah.
I've got the M2 Max on this, but it still feels slow sometimes.
Okay, it says I'm not connected. Let's see. That's true. Because it could have been because that YouTube stream was going at the time. I'm still getting an excellent connection.
So the YouTube stream references the live peer stream?
Well, no, there's just like the streaming software launches the stream to both at the same time, but I can independently connect. I don't understand why this isn't now the YouTube. So before, or the live peer, and now it's the YouTube.
Now it's the YouTube.
It says connect, and we've already done that. I mean, it's funny because it's saying excellent connection, so it's definitely reading my attempt to. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Now, I guess it takes a while. Looks like it's registering now. I'm just waiting to see the preview. They just need to verify it's me, I guess, now, all of a sudden. Okay, I think we might be up on YouTube now, and it should be a stream starting soon. Yeah, it looks like we are.
AI stuff with it one day.
Yeah, that's our combo. Yeah. So now I need to get verified. You still there? Just me right now, but we're gonna get started shortly. Be right there, ladies and gentlemen. One viewer. Are we back?
Hello?
Are we back? Yo, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hear you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What happened?
I have no idea. The stream was running the whole time. I like heard myself on it and everything.
Yeah, I went to the stream to try and find out, but I didn't can just see the starting soon
Yeah,
PM.
it was literally just my voice talking to myself.
Oh,
To
mad.
to the tons of viewers.
So is it working now?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's been working for about 2 minutes, it looks like. Oh, 5 minutes? So it seems to be working on the YouTube, seems to be working on live here. Yeah, I think we're kind of on now. Let me
Nice. So
just
we're
make sure
live.
yeah, let me just make sure I switch to our cameras now, because obviously it's important. And if I switch to our cameras, yeah, okay, now we're on actually.
And we're live.
There it is. We did it. Growing pains, I suppose. But now we've got everything locked in.
Nice. Cool. So we kind of know how the flow works. There's
Yeah.
a couple of things to turn off, and then I guess YouTube is the second thing.
Yeah. Basically, it's like it feels a little old timey, I suppose, where it's like turn the thing off, give it like 30 seconds to make sure the thing is actually off. And then like
Yeah.
once you've confirmed the thing is actually off, you're good to turn it on. That's kind of like how it feels right now. But yeah, it is what it is for now. But I think yeah, I think to solve that, I think we're just gonna have to do different stream keys. Is essentially what it is, because then we don't have to wait that 30. We don't have to wait that anymore. We just kind of like turn it off and then use the new stream key to turn back on, and that'll at least solve the YouTube side of things. The live peer, I think it would. We would have to create some kind of like software like switch essentially that because right now the only thing that's displaying on higher.zip is our one live stream, But honestly,
Yeah.
I think that once we figured out that we have to turn off the live peer as well and turn it back on, like there was no issues around that. I think the main issue is like the YouTube has like this built-in little like I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the name for it is, but it feels like a safe switch where you have to log into youtube.com as well in addition to like the live streaming software you're using. So like you can send the live stream from the software, but YouTube won't necessarily like just live stream that. You have to like log into your live stream on YouTube and then like basically go into this thing called a stream scheduler and then kind of like confirm that it's good there, and that's when it starts after that point. It doesn't just start automatically. LivePeer is a little bit lower lift in that end where if you just send it to LivePeer, it'll just stream. So that's the piece that I learned there where now I know we have to be on YouTube at the same time, ready to go.
Interesting. It's good to do it when it's low impact.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Where no one's tuned in right now. Surprise stream. Yeah. Yeah, I think my body temperature would have like went through the roof if this was like a high impact situation and all this was happening. I probably would have been like red in the face and like just really stressed out.
Yeah, trust me. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun though. Should we cast about this?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say we're doing a little test live stream. Whoever can tell us if things aren't working.
Yeah, let's do it. Are you going to link out higher.zip, right? And you're getting audio from higher.zip? I'm going
Let
to
me
check.
see.
I'm going
I
to
think
check
I
right now.
was before. Should we cast about this?
I think I am as well. I mean, honestly, it shouldn't be different. Yeah, it's even crispier than YouTube, honestly. That's awesome.
Nice.
This is
So,
more reasons for us to get off YouTube, I guess. I was kind of gun ho about YouTube because like obviously the distribution there would be sick, but it is proven to be a little like is it worth all the work that we have to put into it kind of, like and it goes back to Colfax's point the other day about like us kind of the 16 by 9 kind of like aspect ratio thing. We're like kind of the only real reason we should care about abiding by that is because like YouTube displays it as 16 by 9.
mm,
Other than that, I mean, like if we're on higher zip, then like we could decide the aspect ratio as we want. We have no real limits there. We can make it 1 by 1 square if we want. So yeah, this is my thinking out loud about what we should do about the YouTube, basically.
yeah, I think one of the nice things that I like about the YouTube is that um, it automatically creates a video of the
Yeah,
live show that's happened.
that's true.
And that's a way we can kind of, in theory, there's like evergreen content there. If, someone is running a higher show, they can then title those shows like things that get clicks.
Yeah.
And then that maybe drives people towards higher.zip over time.
I will say also, I forgot to share this with you guys. I meant to share it with you guys. But I have another client, this barbershop that I'm working with, that wants to do a 24/7 live stream as well. Theirs is kind of called the Gentleman's Dashboard. So yesterday I went in and they were like, "Oh, we have a TV in like the waiting area, and it would be cool if we could live stream in that TV." So to test it, I YouTubed higher.zip and just like tuned in, and it was must have been on the TV for like 2 hours or something like that. But I got some footage of the video on the television in this waiting room, which is like it was
Sick.
just satisfying to see. But yeah, it was.
That footage itself can be a video that goes on higher.zip.
But see that's what I mean is the benefit there is like, oh, okay, now when we're on YouTube, we're now all of a sudden available to every YouTube app, the TV apps included, because that was the big thing.
Mm,
This TV has like the TV version of YouTube app, not the one on the phone or whatever, but it's like you know what I mean, like LG TVs have it and like all that.
yeah, yeah.
So I found it very cool where I searched higher, higher, higher in the search bar. You know what I mean? And it like eventually I found it. I typed higher.zip actually, and like the first thing that came up was like our 24-hour stream, which
Mad.
I was like giggling inside, honestly.
What kind of stream are they trying to do?
Basically they're trying to do like um something to play in the lobby of like the waiting area of the shop. So they have kind of like a catalog of like existing YouTube videos, but also like footage of YouTube videos they never made. So they kind of want to just loop through that footage on mute because they play Spotify in the shop anyway. And then they want to do stock prices of certain stocks. And then they want to do like a world clock, which is like what's the time in London, what's the time in Paris, what's the time in Tokyo. And then they want to do in the lower corner, they want to do like basically ad space, and it'll be for their own product. So they have like mousses and stuff like that, and like beard balms and all that. So it'll be like in the corner, it'll just be like a little ad about that. And then they also do like vintage clothes, like shirts and all that stuff. So they'll
So I
that
guess the stuff that requires it to be a live stream is like the world clock
Yeah,
and the stock prices. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because that updates a consistent place. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. I had built a very rudimentary version of this for them ages ago. Honestly, the only thing it had at the time though was the clocks and the stock prices. Um, and they tried to do one where they played music on their live stream 24/7, but that's the issue. Like I think I spoke about the issue really early on, is like the copyright issues with that kind of music. Luckily we have our own music that we're not getting any copyright streams, which is fucking so satisfying. But when the barbershop tried to do it months ago, they were using like real music from like Spotify. So very quickly they got a shit ton of copyright strikes, and the stream would kind of get taken down all the time, et cetera, et cetera. So that proved to be not useful at all, because then it was like, um, so that's kind of where I got that knowledge actually that brought us to where we are today. Now that I think about it.
It's funny how things stack, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
seemingly unrelated things.
Yeah, no, for real. I think about that all the time because I went to school for automotive engineering at first, which
Mm.
is like completely unrelated to media and videos, and there are times where, especially working in media departments within tech companies, like smaller tech companies, where I'm just like, oh, this is kind of what mechanics do, like just like processes and how the companies work. And I'm like, oh, I only know this because like I went to school for automotive engineering. Like it's so weird. It's so weird how sometimes things like that stack up.
It's cool though. Some of the coolest people are people who are like have those kind of like sharp turns. They've got multiple multiple contexts to draw from.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons high is going to be cool. If we can, because it's such a, the word itself is just so, it means something to everyone at the same time as like being very broad. So I'm excited for I'm excited to see what people come up with.
Yeah, I'm super excited about the contest. Honestly, did he say? Did Sean say when that's he's aiming to launch that? Excuse me, sorry.
I don't know. I think it was going to be like a weekend ago or something, but things just didn't fall together. One thing that I think would be cool is kind of like that co-star image that was shared. If we had something like that for the competition, because I thought that was clear.
Yeah, that'd be sick. We could literally lay it out. I've been working on the brand guidelines to HIGHER.ZIP, which is something I'll share when it's complete. But like, I think with what I already have, we can easily make graphics already. You know, it's really just typography, right? And we've already kind of established that. So I don't think making typography, we don't have to wait till the brand guide is complete to make these things, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good idea. Even like video aspect of it as well. I wonder, you know. Yeah, there's one idea I have to, well, first of all, I want to create, so you know how right now when you hover over the higher.zip logo on the website, it like animates in. So that animation I made with code, but I want to make one that's like an MOV file so that everyone could use it. You know what I mean? It would just be like a video file that we could send to each other instead of having to like, you know, and I think having that occasionally on like the lower right hand corner of everything that airs on higher.zip would be sick as well. Even if it's like, maybe it's like HZ for like 15 minutes straight, and then for like 1 minute it does an animation and it goes right back to HZ, you know, and just have that kind of like on loop as things air, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you said it's like 15 minutes as well. because it's really nice to have that kind of freedom right now where we don't have to. It feels great everything we're doing, and we don't have to do it in any particular way. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you,
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, are you planning on making any video for the comps or anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely tag in. I'm gonna try to basically over deliver. To be honest, I'm gonna be probably obnoxious with it. I feel like I have to, as part of the squad right now. I kind of have to. I feel obligated, honestly, to go in on it.
Yeah.
Right? Or what? What do you think? Is it like?
No, I back it, to be honest. I think if we're gonna do it, we might as well populate with stuff that we ourselves would want to be on there. So if we want to, did I share that video into the chat of like the Milady thing? It was like all AI made, like kind of an anime opening sequence. Basically, someone had made with AI an opening sequence to like an anime cartoon, but it was all Milady kind of stuff.
Oh, cool.
And it was so good with their own music in the background, and obviously the music was Japanese, but they had like English subtitles of all like Milady lore-esque shit. It was really cool.
Did you share it? I want to see that. I mean, I don't remember.
Let me try and share it. Yeah, but like the stuff people can do with AI nowadays, I think some people just aren't aware, like it's possible to do that kind of stuff.
I just shared the TV too, by the way.
Oh, nice. That's so cool. Yeah, it's probably worth having YouTube just to be able to do that.
Right.
What did I share this?
You know what's cool also that has happened to me almost accidentally is the when I go on higher.zip and I switch tabs, it turns into a picture-on-picture video. Has that happened to you on your computer at all?
No.
Like, you know how on Apple devices, if you switch from the YouTube tab, I mean, depending on their browser, I suppose. I use Arc browser, and it like automatically pops it out into like a little window. So it's like still there, you know? I guess how your video must be in this phone call, how it's in the lower right-hand corner. It does that for videos, and it's done that for HIGHER.ZIP as well for me, even on my phone. I feel like I've gotten out of the browser, and like HIGHER.ZIP is still be like floating around.
On YouTube or the higher.zip?
No, higher.zip.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Oh,
that's cool.
That's with AI? That's fucking impressive.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. What's more cool, I think, is that it does feel like a new anime. It's not like a rip-off of another one or something. You know what I mean? Like they definitely like did a shit ton of image processing before they even turned this into video, it seems like. That Nano Banana stuff is crazy. I've been seeing some videos from that. The Google.
What is Nano Banana?
It's just like a new video AI that Google came out with. I haven't tinkered with it myself, but the videos I've seen from it are pretty impressive.
It's different from VO.
Yeah. Or maybe it's the new version of VO. It might be the new version of VO, honestly.
Or better name.
Or is VO the platform, and then maybe Nano Banana is one of the models that you could use? I'm not too sure.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe it is.
Yeah, that's super cool. I love it. That's a dope video.
But yeah, just knowing that people can do stuff like that that's the kind of I'm probably not going to be able to meet that level of it, but imagine I'll give that kind of thing a go.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to have the budget and the time to make a video like that. Hell yeah. That'd be so sick. I got to convince one of my clients to do something like that. Just because it's cool.
It's true. It is. I imagine it is pretty expensive at the minute to you have to buy credits or something. I've
Yeah.
actually not used VO at all.
Yeah, I think VO is like $300 or something like that. And
Uh,
I don't know exactly what that means in terms of credits or anything, but just to like even make, you know, and even Midjourney when like you start to go do that a lot, it uses up your hours a lot. So you have to like top off a lot. I don't know in terms of cost. I mean, have you there's a really cool platform, I suppose. It's called Flora. Have you heard of it or seen it?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because you could use many different models within their uh, platform. So you could like generate images, upload images, and do all that, and then feed it into basically a video operator. And then within the video operator, you can choose what AI model you'll use to convert it into a video.
Mm.
Although one thing that I haven't explored or even I don't I don't think this is possible based on my knowledge, but like extending a video, I don't think you can do that on Flora. It seems difficult to do. And I think mainly because when you get to a video operator, you can add another operator after the video operator, but rarely that video operator is really to like stylistically change the original video, not to like extend this. Like if it's an 8 seconds, it's not to like extend it to 12 seconds or anything like that. So it's pretty
Yeah.
limited. Like it's whatever video you get as an output, that's pretty much the end of it. So if you're doing something that's like you want 5 second or 8 second videos, it works fine. But to really extend something like the anime one, I feel like you couldn't do that because there were a lot of shots on there that were like 10 seconds or more, you know?
Yeah. Can you not like use like the final frame of the video and then just start again, like a fresh
Well,
thing?
you can in other platforms like Runway, you can do that. In Midjourney, you could do that. I'm pretty sure in VO you can do that, but in Flora, last time I tried it, you can't do that.
Mm.
Which that's why I was like, okay, this is the limitation here. I use
You know
Flora.
what kind of thing? Oh, go on.
No, what was it?
I was going to ask what kind of thing you would make for like the competition.
Competition of Flora or what? What do you mean?
No, I mean for like if I'm I'm wondering.
Oh, for our competition.
Yeah.
What kind of thing I would make? Huh? That's a good question. I mean, I mean, the togetherness part is the word that I kind of focused on the most in the prompts that we're making.
Mm.
So I would definitely do like groups of people, groups of animals, like behavioral patterns essentially. Um, but I don't know. I don't know exactly what I would make, but yeah, I mean, I think I also like the vibe of some of the older Adult Swim bumps where it was kind of like almost like B-roll footage and then there was text on it and the text would be
Yeah.
kind of like a joke or something inspirational. I kind of like those as well. But I wonder, like in this day and age, if those would even be successful, because it would have to be some really good B-roll to like keep people entertained. Um, I mean, also, I still have that. Oh shit! I don't think I even shared it, but I added a voiceover to the Dream Machine thing with the clouds. Remember that? The like
Vaguely.
when we were deciding like on what ambient stuff to put on.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah. So I did like a script and a voiceover. I converted it to a voiceover and I put it over some of the scenes and it kind of hits, honestly. It kind of hits. So I mean, again, that's a thing that I just need to spend more time on, but there's like a few scenes that I feel like might be missing, but I don't think I ever exported it even. It might be right on this computer. I'm almost like afraid to go to my desktop right now because the whole live stream will see it.
In the in terms of the uh empty from on filing. No, gone.
What was it? What was it?
I don't know. I was going to ask something, but I forgot what it was.
Okay.
There's a there's something just sticking in the back of my brain.
Yeah, what are you thinking about making? Or are you gonna submit some stuff?
Yeah, I think I'll want to. I have got some stuff I've already made, but I don't know whether I could probably improve some of it. Um, I think I have some kind of stuff like that where it's just like text over or like a voiceover. Oh, what I was going to say is like the sound is a big thing. I think the sound can kind of make a video.
Totally. Yeah, it can make or break it. You could
Yeah.
shoot the most beautiful footage, but if the microphone is not picking up any of the dialogue, it's trash.
Yeah.
And vice versa. You could have like really shitty footage, but if the audio is immaculate, done. All of a sudden, I think yeah, I think honestly, in a lot of times, in a lot of scenarios, it's more important than the visual.
Mm. Something to think about. I know that Capture is thinking about like he's big into like the music side of things.
Mm.
So maybe that's an avenue HIGHER.ZIP can support at some point where we just get people to get a Suno subscription and just to start generating stuff that they like that's like higher coded. I'm sure that could be a competition.
And what is that exactly? I don't think I've used it sooner.
Suno, so it's like
Oh yeah. You could write songs and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. It actually is kind of crazy. It can take a number of generations to hit something that feels good, but I found that it's actually relatively quick. Like it doesn't take that many generations. As long as if you've got the lyrics and then you're listening through a whole song, you can kind of hear where the model isn't working with the lyrics properly. And every time you generate, it generates two songs as well. So you can kind of like immediately like A/B test whether the lyrics are something that fit the genre that you're trying to you're prompting it to do. And I do this thing where I don't know how ethical it is, but if I like a certain style of music, I'll say, oh, I like Tame Impala, and I like Miles Davis. Can you ChatGPT? Can you give me like a blended description of the genres of Tame Impala, and if Miles Davis and Tame Impala kind of like collabed, how would you describe that music? And then I take whatever that description is of the genre and pop it into Suno, and it kind of comes out with something somewhere in the middle.
Oh really? Wow.
I think that's a pretty extreme example, Miles Davis and Tame Impala, but like that kind of
Yeah, still
that
impressive.
process is what I use. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty fascinating, honestly. I stayed back for some reason from using AI music tools because I don't really have that talent without AI, so I feel like I wouldn't even know how to describe things properly, but that's pretty helpful. I gotta see what's up with Suno then.
Yeah.
Write some
It's
country
it
songs.
I mean, it's kind of a cheat code to get ChatGPT to give you the prompt when you're just like, I like this kind of music. Give me like the perfect Suno prompt, but don't use any artist names. And then it'll whip out something and uses like technical music language to like describe how bass lines move or whatever.
That's fascinating, actually. So ChatGPT is aware of Suno. Yeah, I guess the memory thing is not even an issue anymore with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to try that. I'm gonna make some music. Make some country songs about higher.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I honestly feel like I did that once. Maybe I did that before. I'm gonna try to log into my Suno if I have one. Suno AI. I don't think I do, honestly. Did I do with my number? Is that it? No, I didn't. Yeah, I gotta fuck with Suno. That sounds awesome. We haven't talked since we dropped, honestly.
No.
Any feedback, or not even, I mean, not necessarily feedback, but just responses from people in general?
Um, I mean, people were really supportive overall, I think.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't expecting the donations that we've got, really. We got more than I imagined we would get. Um, I kind of like prepare myself for the worst in that like maybe we post and like nobody gives a shit.
Right.
But people liked it, and I think people start to get it more and more. When I actually sit down with someone for a longer period of time and talk them through how it works, they're like, "Oh shit, this is cool." But it might take a little bit of time for people to cotton on to exactly what's happening and how they can best get involved, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I imagine the personal barrier to making video, if you don't already make video, might be a high one, honestly. Like if you're just like someone who, you know, makes posters, and be like, oh, all of a sudden I have to learn how to make a video. Um, but I feel like that's the easy, now with the AI tools, that might be an easy hurdle to kind of overcome for an individual. But that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love the feedback we were getting. And I guess what do you feel like the next steps are? And like, I feel like we have to make video now. We have to put out video is kind of like, that's what I feel like is the next step, but maybe I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I think the things I think about really are one, communicating it well. So maybe like making more graphics and stuff that describe like, actually we want you to help, or like this is what we need. That kind of thing that like delivers the mission of HIGHER.ZIP almost implicitly by like asking for certain things.
Yeah.
And then I'm excited to maybe do our first partnership with someone who's selling merch, or even sell our own kind of merch.
Yeah.
Obviously, Colfax makes some of the coolest shit, so that might be one way of doing it. And then, yeah, I think actually thinking more recently about the music and video together. Like, I think that if Capture starts up a music thing, or even we could like kickstart something where we say we just want music this time around. One thing I've been thinking about is like how, like in terms of the size of the rewards pools that we do, like what is effective, like what's cost effective, both in terms of how do we attract people with like a kind of large enough incentive, at the same time, how do we measure ourselves so we don't kind of like blow our load before we've managed to collect momentum.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of where I've been thinking.
How do you feel about, I guess, cadence then, in terms of like, are you, I guess, are you in favor more to do like bigger rewards less often or more frequently? Maybe the reward is not as big or something like that, you know?
I kind of feel like both would be good. Like I kind of want big long ones where like people can see, oh, this has been going on for a while, and so like it's worth me putting in effort for a 5 minute video. Because if they have said, okay, we're only going to reward 10 videos, but there's a million higher, we're all going to get 100,000 higher, something like that. But you've got to make videos over the course of 2 months or something, and we continually like make it known that we're looking for that. I think that'll be cool. But I think maybe in the short term we do like one larger one just to like as a statement of intent, and then do lots of smaller ones just to kind of like reward people relatively quickly and get like more stuff on the board. But I'm not sure what kind of small tasks or small asks we can make.
Right.
That's kind of area for thinking like what do we want? Like what would be cool if people did?
Right. Yeah, because I think we do have I think we have like two sets of wants almost too, right? We have like the bumpers and kind of like the ambient collection of ambient video, which is, I feel like, one thing on our wish list, but also like we want shows as well. Like we want, like, you know, Higher FM to be like, okay, you guys want to syndicate the show every Tuesday at 9 p.m., you know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be. Um, and I think, I guess now that I think about it, like how public should that be, right? Like, should the negotiations also be like publicized in a way, you know, maybe in this call, you know what I mean? Like, is that something, maybe it's like a segment in this call where we're talking about like both the creative quests, aka the bumpers and the music and all that stuff, which maybe is a more like a short form strategy, versus also like the long form strategy, which is like, you know, streaming shows or maybe even producing our own show, right? Like maybe one of four of us have our own show that we could uh, do or schedule, you know. um, yeah, do you think both those things should be public, you think, or like how, you know, I guess my initial reaction is like the short form thing should definitely be public, the long form thing maybe not so much, but like I also don't mind if it is either.
It would be cool if we get to a stage where someone, either one of us was like, I've got an idea and I want to push this out for the next like 12 weeks. Like this is a show I want to do for 12 weeks. Like I think that's a decent time period to try and do something. It'd be great if we got to the point where like people are approaching us being like, I want to do a show. I kind of feel like the Higher FM is like the one that is kind of maybe easiest to grab at. But I in my mind, actually, between the bumpers and the long form shows, there's also maybe, I don't know if this is the right word for them, but trailers seems like a cool prompt to give people. If you're like, all right, Higher FM have given us these assets, these digital assets, and you've got permission to use these clips or whatever, this audio. We've got a prize pool of 50,000 higher for one person who makes the best trailer for Higher FM, or one person who makes the best trailer for like what Higher is. Like trailers almost seem like I remember we started with this kind of. I remember Colfax pushing relatively hard at the beginning on the idea of like putting things out there just to see if people like it or not.
Yeah.
And so that trailer seems like a middle ground where like you could have trailers for shows that never happen and they could just be fun, but you can also have trailers for shows that eventually do happen. Almost like you're filling out a TV channel with
Right.
adverts before the shows come.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, honestly. What you inspired in me just now in my mind is that I wonder if we could make that, because I know before you were also bringing up the idea of like purchasing TV spots. And I wonder if that idea of like this middle ground trailer thing might be the like pilot for that, is basically saying like maybe we make a open edition NFT that is like only mintable for like 7 days, and whoever mints it in those 7 days, we can air a commercial of whatever they have, right? So if it's Katra, then maybe it could be like a commercial for HB3 Pulse, right? If it's like Jack, then it would be like a commercial for Higher Market, and whoever owns the NFT can basically like turn in, exchange the NFT for a slot, and it would be a trailer for whatever. Maybe the trailer doesn't even have to be like higher related, but I think it will be naturally. Like there will be some inputs of higher related trailers, but also like maybe someone has just a project that they want to promote. And maybe if we make it an open edition and have the mint price be something like, 1,000 higher or whatever price we decide, then maybe effectively they are kind of buying airtime, you know. It'd be an interesting mechanic to toy around with, I think.
I think there's something there for sure, and it sounds cool. The question in my mind is like, who makes the trailer?
The person who buys the NFT, I imagine. Right? Like or they could pay someone else to make it for them, right? I'm thinking of the perspective of like, I have a brand and I want to air a commercial on higher.zip. So if it's Jack with QR coin, I don't know how well Jack can make videos himself. Maybe he would make something himself, but maybe Jack has funds to hire a video guy to make his commercial for him. Therefore, he can just exchange the NFT for this commercial that a freelancer made for him. Um, if you're a video person, that is, I guess, a little harder, because then like, what would you make, right, as a trailer for what, I guess that would be where the higher trailers might come from, is from like video creators who buy this open edition themselves. But I do think that there's like a supply issue or a demand issue there for people who are just brand owners and may want to access the higher community in that way by making a trailer for them. I guess now that I even say this out loud, I'm thinking about like in podcasts, right, where they have those little ads like Helix Matrix. Don't go to helix.com/Tyso to like get 50% off, like something like that, right? Where there's like, maybe they make an ad with like a coupon code that's higher.zip or something like that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if there's so one of the things that I think is cool about HIGHER.ZIP is that we're incentivizing people to make shit. I wonder if there's a world where, say, we say, all right, we're going to sell an advert slot every month, and it's a 3-minute slot, or I don't know how long an advert is, 90-second slot, and we're committed to putting up, I don't know, 100,000 higher, and we promise that first place gets 75,000 higher, second place gets 20,000 higher, and third place gets 5,000 higher. And people can bid for that program.
Yeah.
So like then QR bids for that 100,000 higher incentive program. And then we mobilize the community to be like, all right, the advert you're going to make for this 75,000 higher for the winner is going to be for a QR advert.
That's dope. Yeah. That'd be dope. Because then at that point, we're almost like acting as the agent that connects the creative to the prompt. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of the times as a creative company, you're like, oh shit, I want to make a commercial, but I need to find, you know what I mean? I have to find talent to make it. And that way we're kind of like creating a connection point. We're saying like, okay, we've got the talent here. All we have to do is really connect it to the brand that has a need, and that need is a commercial in our case, or a trailer, right?
Yeah.
That would be super cool. That's cool. We should definitely do that. That seems like that's the solve right there. And I think maybe the 90-second is the great. It's a great middle ground to experiment with, honestly.
I guess the only question is like, how much is how big's the carrot have to be
Right.
to get people to, make something? And I guess the other thing is, say QR and Jake are like, yeah, we want this, and then someone makes an advert. I think you have to involve them in like the choosing the best one process.
For sure.
But also, do the people who make the videos, do we encourage them to lean into higher? Like, do we encourage them to have the higher arrow turn into the QR code or whatever? Or do we say this is entirely a QR advert? You don't have to reference higher, or it's better if you don't reference higher.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'd kind of want them to reference higher, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it seems like a position. Yeah, there's definitely trade-offs to both, I would say, because I would say from the sponsor's side, I wouldn't want higher on it at all, really. You know, or the only reason I would be because I'm a part of the higher community. So then there may be, I wonder, in the case that there's a sponsor that isn't and it just wants the talent to make them an ad, or even I'm thinking about a sponsor who like is planning to use, sure, the ad can play on HIGHER.ZIP, but maybe they're planning to use it elsewhere as well.
Yeah.
That's
where they get the best value for money, isn't it?
Right.
Use it elsewhere.
Right. Exactly. That would be the trade-off there. So I think that would be the same for us, right? If the stipulation from the sponsor is that they don't want any HIGHER.ZIP on it, maybe that's like where we kick in some kind of fee to them then for even running the contest, right? Much like agencies do, like an agency fee almost.
But we'd already be doing that because we'd already be getting them to bid for the program, right? Like,
so they are paying us, yeah.
So the thing, like the post is almost like HIGHER.ZIP auction for first advert slot, 90 seconds, or I don't know how you sell it, but you're like, we have a 90-second slot. We want to sell it to an advertiser, and the advertiser, we're going to give X percentage of the auction proceeds to whoever wins. Plus, we've already got this 100,000 higher incentive program that we promise we're gonna use. So the advertiser is almost bidding for that incentive program and our connection to the network, and the network is making videos because they're gonna get 100,000 higher and also a portion of whatever the winning bid was.
Right. Yeah.
Finagly. There's probably a simpler way of talking about it.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I guess we would set the rules then beforehand, is really what it is. Like, you understand that by winning this bid, it does mean, and maybe it could be just there's like different strategies to involving HIGHER.ZIP, where like, the logo has to be on the screen for at least 3 seconds or something like that. Something like it could be that low of a threshold, or it could be like as high as like we have a mascot and the mascot has to jump 3 times on something in the video, right? Like we could maybe that's part of the stipulation of the auction, meaning like by winning this auction, this is kind of the prompt.
This brings up an interesting thing as well, because one of the things that is cool, or one of the things that comes to mind is like, would you want the end of, say the stipulation was the last 5 seconds are going to be some kind of end out higher branded. Do you want that closing thing to point people towards higher zip, or do you want to point them towards higher? Do you want it to say powered by higher, produced by higher zip, something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Or do
that
we just like back out entirely and be like, all right, higher zip's kind of like, if you know kind of vibe,
yeah.
and it's just powered by higher?
That's a high level. I think that there's like totally strategies and sub strategies within that, honestly, because that's the thing. It's like we inherently will have kind of like a viewership advantage, I suppose, with simply like if someone knows and took part of the auction, that means that they already know about higher.zip, right? That's
Yeah.
one aspect of it. So then there's the whole cycle of like the contest and the creation of that advertising and the whole like kind of uh, game that will be. So if people are aware of that, then again they'll already know about higher.zip. So really, for up until that point, we don't have like a necessarily a promotional advantage at all, right? Because the people who will participate will already know about it. So for us to then involve higher.zip in the video, like I wonder where the benefit is there. And I think probably where the benefit would come from is like they use this higher.zip video elsewhere. Then it makes sense for it to say powered by higher.zip, right? Because then wherever it elsewhere, that's when we get eyes that weren't on it before. And I guess that's where I wonder about the strategy then. It's like we would have to almost like create our own licensing agreement for that. Meaning like if it airs on higher.zip, it doesn't require this like last 3 seconds. But if it airs anywhere outside of higher.zip, then it requires this last 3 seconds. And then there's also the balance between like, as an advertiser, don't I want the last 3 seconds to be about me? Right? So then it brings up the whole question of like, what's another visual indicator that we can create that lives outside of maybe the first 3 seconds or the last 3 seconds that ties it to higher.zip?
Yeah. Or instead you work with like you could work on the basis of like, all right, what is the content of the advert? So yeah,
Right.
maybe they don't explicitly want higher to be part of it, but maybe that's just part of the deal. And actually, the advertiser space we're selling is blank goes higher. So it's like, and you auction fills in the blank. So it's QR goes higher or Pippin goes higher. And then we basically rally the troops to be like, these guys are sending us higher, so let's send them higher. They've just paid an auction that's added X amount of permanent buy pressure to higher zip. So now we've got 100,000 higher for you to show them some love by making them an advert, basically.
Yeah. That might be that sounds like the way there. I think I think like for sure we wouldn't want to like promote an ad slot and then once the person wins the auction be like, oh well, there's all these stipulations. So I think that's where like we have to come up with those stipulations so they know them before they're actually bidding.
Yeah.
right? Like if on the auction we're saying like the prompt for the ad is blank goes higher, then the person whoever whatever brand is bidding will already know that there's already like a semi creative direction to the ad. Yeah, that's a cool problem to have though. I mean, like it's a cool hurdle to try to climb over, you know. I mean, I think the mechanic is pretty cool. I mean, I think the mechanic is definitely, we've already talked many times about like involving auctions somehow. We've already talked many times about like inserting outside media into the channel, or maybe like non-hire media into the channel somehow. And 90-second trailer and 90-second ads like seem kind of like the right format to experiment with when it comes to that, which I think could happen in parallel to the search for short form and the search for long form content.
Yeah, coming to mind for me is like, it's almost like Nikes have their athletes, right? And usually Nike pays the athlete. But what if athletes could pay Nike and Nike would make the advert? So like the athlete gets exposure and they get associated with this just do it and the tick. We're almost set like, and we're kind of made for it in crypto where a coin comes to us and says, okay, we've just raised like a community, a meme coin has pulled together like 1.5 ETH. And like they would have bidded on the QR auction, they bid on this higher ad space. And they know it's going to say Dick Book goes whatever, whatever meme coin goes higher. And they know this community is going to fucking pump out some kind of crazy video.
Yeah.
So interesting. It's not. It is not my favorite idea to have HIGHER.ZIP stream become like a meme coin advertising channel.
Right.
But I think there's something there.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I think though that's a pretty solvable problem, right? If we, or not even us particularly, but the squad is the arbiter of like what airs on the channel, then we can just limit. You know what I mean? We can just we're like, hey, it feels like a little too much. You know what I mean? So like we can stop airing it. You know.
But what if, but then say like say the Mog community win the auction by just slamming a 60th bid on a 90-second slot. That for Mog goes higher, this imaginary slot. And then we're going to turn around and say, actually, this video doesn't fit our brand. Like they've won the auction at that point. Like
we can't do
theory,
that. I guess I was thinking of a world where like maybe they win one and then another token wins another one and then another token wins another one and then all of a sudden there are 3 advertisements all about tokens. I think that's where I think I would personally probably draw the line. I'd be like, hey, that's too many tokens there. You know what I mean? Like we should be sponsoring another thing, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, once they win, that's it. We're obligated to, it is, you know, we've if they win.
So maybe then it is a behind the scenes thing. So the agreements for that kind of advert or that kind of thing. So the public stuff is like anyone can make a bumper and anyone can make higher related content, but then behind the scenes we have like I don't know, some kind of, the way I was imagining it was like, I was only really thinking about higher athletics and higher market. Like those things don't seem in conflict at all. I think it's when you go broader, it starts to get a bit, you need a lot more curation in terms of like what you're rallying people behind.
Yeah.
That's a problem QR have as well. QR have had like malicious links be kind of like winning bids and stuff, or
oh really,
scam tokens win the daily auction, and then people just get rugged because they jump into this token after QR have won it, or
And
after they've won the QR.
what's QR's position on that?
They're like I think they have a pop-up when you click on the link that says like you are leaving QR, be aware, be safe kind of vibe.
But they don't disconnect the link from the QR.
I think if it's actively malicious, they do. But if it's just if it's just a meme token, and the dev has 90% of the supply and dumps it on everyone who jumps in after they win the QR, then I don't think they do anything about that. Just like you lost kind of vibe.
Yeah, damn. I mean, yeah, it is what it is, right? Especially if we're talking about like permissionless systems, then that's kind of what it is, right? Like that's part of it. I feel like.
I agree. I think, part of crypto in general is like taking more responsibility.
Right.
And like part of that is you have to also take responsibility for the dangers that are out there.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no like customer service for, for Ethereum, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What are you excited about? Like to do next?
For HIGHER.ZIP?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited to honestly have more content and stuff up there, and I would love to get on a technical level. I would love to get a little bit more into like the nitty gritty of the programming, like especially like the thing that happened at the beginning of this stream where it's like, oh, we have to turn off one stream, turn on, like solving those on a programmatic level. I almost even wonder if we should have like a backend dashboard that only us four can access, where we can like end stream, start stream from just there, instead of having to go to like LivePeer and YouTube and do all these things. And then, not to mention, my brain immediately goes to like, what about something like it doesn't have to be Higher FM, but anything like that wants to air every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Like it would be cool to be able to pre-program that, where like I don't have to log in at every Tuesday at 2 p.m. to air this show, Yeah, so I don't exactly know how those problems are going to be tackled, but I do think that like fairly quickly we'll probably realize that's a thing that we'll need to do, which is kind of cool too, because in a way then we can focus on gathering the content. If we can like programmatically solve that issue, then that means that we can in effect collect a week's worth of what's going to air and just be like boom 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 and plug it into like, let's say, a calendar, and each time slot would be like a show, and we would literally just fill it up, and just like it'd be like creating a website for just us, where we can like drag and drop shows that we want to air at specific times, with the fallback always being what we have up now, the ambient kind of like loop. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. Obviously, that's like a long term. I think that's going to be a long term thing. But yeah, I'm super excited to get people more involved with the challenge. Like I'm really soup to see like not only what people make, but like how many people contribute and how many different videos each person is going to like submit as well, right? Because I don't think we have a limit. We don't have like a planned limit on it, right? Like one person may submit 5 videos, So I'm like interested to see that.
I think we do need to, and I think Colfax would need to be here to like understand exactly how he's thinking about it. But I think we do need to have like some sort of tiered winner gets this amount, chosen submissions get this amount. I don't even know if you want to say like, I'm not sure we would want to say every submission gets part of the rewards pool, because then you might open yourself to people just kind of
Doing trash. Yeah.
submitting low effort trash. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I think his goal with that was to get more participation. If we say like every, I don't know his verbiage on like, is it entry or individual? But if every individual gets a pool of hire for just submitting, and if I remember correctly, part of his rubric that he made was like making the video like 15 seconds or something like that, just so someone can't like mass produce AI videos that are like usually limited to 5 to 8 seconds.
Yeah.
So making it 15 seconds will mean that at the very least, the person's going to have to generate two AI videos and edit them together, you know, which I think is like a fair enough kind of like barrier, especially if we're saying that like every entry or something, you know, that I guess we would have to talk to him about of like where his mind is around that. But yeah, I'm excited for that to go out. I mean, if he's back this week, hopefully it goes out this week, I think.
Yeah. He's in the air now. He's literally going high.
Nice.
It's a exciting time. I have been thinking in my mind about like what would you think about? Would you want to do a live show? Or what would you do if you did a live show? I've been thinking about that question.
Me? What would I do?
Yeah.
I mean, I would love. I have this idea in the back of my head of like interviewing people, and I've kind of wanted to turn my studio space into like couch, camera, microphones, kind of like podcasty setup to do that in, and I've really wanted to live stream that. Uh, uh, yeah. So that's what I think that's what I would try to do. Almost like a Mr. Rogers, film him like coming in through the door, taking their shoes off maybe, and like having this music, and then like having them walk over to the couch, sit on the couch, and then switch camera, and it's like a little interview. Um, I would love to do that. Yeah, honestly, I think like I've tried live streaming before, and it's kind of hard, honestly. Like just to actually like plan a show. I would say. Scripting out what you're going to talk about. If you're talking about something that's happening in the news, that you want to get like the references right and like the sources right and all that, and then not to mention like preloading a browser with all the links that you're going to visit during the live stream. If that's what you choose to do. So yeah, all in all, like a show is like that's the thing. Like a show to make a show is kind of a lot. It's a lot of work, and if you watch a live stream, I think like this is where like my admiration comes from. Is it's like if I watch a live stream and I get the feeling like, oh, I could do that, then I feel like it's really good because then they've done such a good job in making it seem effortless enough that it makes me feel like anyone can do it. Then I feel like that's a sign of like a good show. Then if it feels effortless, it feels like this person's just like turn the camera on and they're good to go. Then that's like the signs of a good show to me.
I hadn't thought about it like that. Like it comes to mind. Like, did you ever watch the early Joe Rogans?
Yeah.
Like those guys, it was been Joe Rogan, Brian Redban, and then whoever Joe had or Brian had invited. Brian was basically Jamie before Joe had Jamie.
Yeah.
And that was a good show. Like they had it down, and it was like just like three guys sitting in a room and one of them on a laptop or two of them on a laptop.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a great way to start shows. And I love the building in public aspect of it as well, where it's like, it's just three guys in a room. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's like Then like 1 week later, like you'll see they'll get a green screen background, and all of a sudden they're like throwing clips up on the green screen. Then it's like, oh, okay. So now I'm early enough on this show where I've witnessed it at least take one evolution upwards. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, like the week after, they get like a sound guy and they got sound effects in the background. Then it's like, okay, now as a fan, I'm like more involved every step of the way where I'm like, oh shit, I used to watch this show when it was just three guys in the basement. Now they have a green screen and they have a sound guy. You know what I mean? It's like, I think I like that progression, honestly, as a fan, you know?
What do you think about streaming this meeting every week? Is that like a? Because there were some things today that I don't know. Were there some things today that the stream key was one thing where we couldn't really that needed to be kept off? But do you think that streaming this weekly is a good idea?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think so in the certain, like, as long as the four of us are aware of the context of what we're talking about is gonna is airing. Um, but then I guess maybe there are things that we would want to talk about that maybe we don't want to air, and I think that we would have to recontextualize our conversations because obviously this is the first one, and we come to the meeting. Usually, we come to this meeting with no limits about what we're talking about because it's not recorded, it's not publicized, so we can literally talk about anything that we want. Usually, we can talk about anything that we want with literally no, I would say, repercussions at all, right? So
Not like we're saying terrible things,
it's
but
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, but there's just not that thought in your head, of like, oh, I gotta watch. I mean, not that there is. I'm just saying. It's definitely different.
yeah,
Um,
there can be an imaginary audience.
yeah,
Like I have forgotten that this has been streamed multiple times, but at the beginning I was aware of it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's the thing with long form shows in general. It's like you can put a mask on for a certain amount of time, but if the show is more than an hour, there's no way your brain can like remember to like be this other person that you're not. You just end up being. I think that's why podcasts in general have gotten so popular, is because like you can't be fake for that long.
yeah,
If you're on camera for an hour, at least the last 45 minutes you're going to be your true self. you
yeah.
know
I'm sure there are some people who trained in it. They're like TV actors and people who have been on reality TV. Like,
right.
I'm sure that there's some training there, like, or stamina to be able to like, okay, I am doing a thing here rather than just being.
But I think even then it wears off. Like maybe they do have a stamina, but I feel like maybe it at least has a taper effect, where
Mm.
like they're really on and on top of it, but then by the end you might like catch them slipping, and like, oh shit, that's the real you. And then if the journalist is good enough, they could pull at that thread without making the person realize that like, oh shit, I shouldn't be saying this, you know. Or if they realize that they're saying it, then like that's where the media training comes back, and it's like, okay, how do I circle this conversation back to a place where I want to be?
Yeah, that's
um,
interesting.
so yeah, it definitely is interesting. um, but yeah, I guess there's I think the way that I'm thinking about our shows being, I guess this show is like, it could mean that we make a show then, right? And the show is like, we keep our uh we keep our meetings as is as we've been doing them, but then maybe the meeting is, instead of like, I guess our meetings are a little bit more like open conversations, and we kind of like fluctuate between ideas and jump between ideas a lot, where then maybe the show for the public needs to be more of like an announcement, a list of announcements and stuff like that. Right, so maybe the case is that we still have our meetings, and then maybe in that meeting we decide what are we announcing, right? Like in our case, it could be the idea for these three forms, three different pillars of content: the short form, the middle form, and the long form. And instead of like talking about it as we already did, then maybe it's announcing it as a strategy then in the show format of it.
But why would we change? Why would we make it different? Why would we do? Because I kind of feel like if it's a stream, I in my mind, I'm almost like, oh, if this is going to be a stream every week, we should almost focus our energies on making it as interactive as possible, so that like we can continue to spitball, but also bring people along with us, so people understand that this is regular. We're thinking about these things, and by tuning in on maybe you're going to get like a share of some pool that every week we're like, all right, we're gonna some amount of hires in this direction.
Yeah.
Or for just being here between the hours of like whatever it is, 1 and 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if I feel like we made it into a show, then we almost have to have, not that this is a huge problem, but we almost have to have another meeting.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true, we would.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I don't see the benefit of making announcements like this. I guess I feel like it would be like almost we have a show, and then the things that we know are confirmed, we will have confirmed almost in the week between the previous show and the next show. It's like there is behind the scenes conversations that you guys aren't seeing, but we can, the idea we were talking about 3 weeks ago, that's happening.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, I guess I agree with you 100%. I guess the only kind of thing that I was trying to curb, I suppose, was those like censored thoughts, or like thoughts of censoring yourself. But maybe that's a non-issue, honestly. Maybe that's like maybe that's just something that maybe doesn't happen. Because I guess I wonder how much we can explore a certain idea if we're worried about censoring ourselves. But maybe we don't. Maybe I'm overthinking it, and maybe we actually don't do that. I mean, I don't feel like I censored myself in this conversation, I guess.
Yeah, neither do I. I think for sure there are certain like we can all say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
That's 100% true. But I almost think that taboo is being broken down bit by bit, just because streaming is getting so big.
Yeah.
It's like you can clip anything nowadays and make anyone look terrible.
That's true.
And like, yeah, I guess that would be something that might have concerned me more in the past. But I think like ultimately, I think all of us are. I personally don't feel like I've got much to hide.
Yeah.
But there are things you want to keep proud at the same time. So there is definitely a layer of like consideration there.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I think maybe that's yeah, I guess the deeper I think about it, I do agree that it's a non-issue. It's just kind of like a side worry, but maybe it proves to be false. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's like not even a thing that happens. I guess the only reason I guess it came up was for like the creative explorations part of our conversations, right?
I feel like we can let them ride. Honestly, the creative side of things, like that's almost like that's the funnest part.
Yeah, it's true.
Almost, and it's just we're letting it. If we're committed to like working it out in real time, I think people will understand that. I mean, the first few times that it's almost like Jesse posts a picture of him wearing the higher hat, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean that everyone should buy the token then and there and hold it forever. No, it's just like one moment in time. Jesse had the spontaneity to like put the hat on and take a picture of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it's like it's not a commitment. I imagine the only bad thing I could see coming of it is like, say we say something here and people think, oh, that's a great idea, and then we work out either we can't do it or we prioritize other things for a long time. But as long as we're like upfront about like, this isn't really a show, you're just watching us have a meeting.
Yeah.
Like if this was like a show where we're trying to like keep you updated and, you know, you're our community.
That's true.
Then that's one thing. But actually, no, you're just like, we're just four individuals who are going higher. And like, if you want to like tune in and hear what we're talking about, you can.
Yeah.
But we're not like, we don't own this project. We don't own Higher. We're not doing, we're working out in real time. So be here if you want, but it's not like, because there are Twitter spaces that are like shows where, you know, we, in the past week, this is what we did. But I think those are where you kind of create that hierarchy of like, you create a stronger boundary between audience and show hosts.
Yeah.
And that's where dynamics of like, oh, you said you'd do this, but then you didn't, or you should be looking after us in some way. Some entitlement arises in audience and show hosts, I guess.
Yeah.
Because show hosts think you got to take what I say is true, and also audience starts to think, oh yeah, what you say is true, so you need to look after my bags.
That's true. I mean, if we keep it as a dev call, then that's all it is. And like, you know what I mean? If we don't add like show production value, then it is less of an announcement and it's more like you're a fly on the wall of a meeting that happens, you know? I guess in that way, then it kind of resembles what like some companies do with, I think Farcaster does this with dev calls. Aren't their dev calls public?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's interesting to think about. I mean, I definitely like the idea of openness of it, you know, of the openness of it, of like, you know, I guess then in the future as it grows, like it would be like a squad only invite to the call. Because part of me wonders, like, if we publicize the call, we know everyone pretty much, like not everyone, but we know most people in the community, and bringing them into the call is not really like an issue for us, right? Like it's not really like we could easily put the Google Meet link in the Higher Market chat if we really wanted to, right? So it's really about just it, or then if it is that public, then maybe that public and open, then maybe the only real gate here is the access to the chat, to the meeting, and we can, you know, edit that as we see fit, I suppose.
Yeah. I think it's cool to be talking HIGHER.ZIP, like have it be that, and then it also means there's opportunity. If someone wants to do a higher show, they can do that.
Right.
And we're just, I think it puts us in a good spot to be able to, you know, it's much more casual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, dude. I have to run to my PT appointment.
Good luck, man.
First one. We're gonna see how it goes. See how fucked up I really am. But yeah, it was a good talk, man. I am running late, so I might have to re-trigger the higher thing a little bit later. Let me see. Yeah.
Hey, man, do your thing. Look after yourself.
All right, man. Appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Peace.
See you there.